Hey guys, John Stevens here again at Working Man Success. I'm here to give you ideas, concepts, practical plans, and attitudes that can help you work your way up the ladder of success as an everyday average working man and create a life for you and your family that you can be proud of, and to debunk the lie that you cannot have nice things, that you cannot have a life you can be proud of as an everyday average working man. So guys, I want to talk to you today about creating flow in your life. And the more flow state that you can get into, the more efficient you become and the more easy life is. It just kind of flows in a certain direction, and sometimes that gets thrown off and you kind of gotta get corrected again. But putting routines and systems in your life that create flow is a huge step forward in reducing restrictions, reducing resistance against life. And what I'm going to talk about is, like, everyday people, for the most part, just get up and they live their life on reacting to other things, other people, whatever comes up, they react to it instead of having a system that they live by and routines that they live by that moves them toward the life that they want. And a couple of things, guys, is you've probably heard me talk about in a previous video, if you've been following my channel for a few weeks, is the power of a notepad. And that's what I'm talking about, is systems and routines. So this little notepad right here is a system that I use on a daily basis. And as things pop up that I need to remember to do, or I need to make sure I take care of before the day's over or the next day, I write it in the notebook. And as you know, like at the end of the day, I'll tear that page out and I'll transfer the things that need to be done tomorrow on the next page, and every day is a new page. This is a system that will help you move forward in life. And a calendar, having a calendar, just a calendar that you can, like this, that you can follow and make plans in the future, is a system that you have. All my bills are wrote down in this calendar, all the birthdays that I'd have to remember, all the date nights, all the things that I have in my life that mean anything, I write them down in the calendar. And the calendar is one of the things that you have to get used to using, because you have to look at it on a daily basis, and you always want to be looking at the next 2 weeks. Every day that you open your calendar up, you need to look at the next 2 weeks. If you need to add something in there, you add something in there. And if you're always looking ahead a week or two, then it keeps you from forgetting things that you've already committed to. And one of the most powerful things you can do is get you and your wife a calendar, and follow that calendar and make sure they're synced together, and make sure y'all talk about the things coming up, and that way it allows you to plan the things you want to do, and she can plan the things she wants to do, and it's a system that moves your life forward. We're living in a world that is consumed by technology and digital. Everything's digital. Everybody wants to use the digital calendars on their phone, and everything's technology. And if y'all noticed, some of y'all probably won't notice because you're not old enough, but you know, if you're in the age between 20, 30 years old, you've probably always, from the time that you've been a young teenager, has had a phone in your hand and has grew up in a digital world. And it used to not be like that. It used to be like people actually wrote down stuff that they had to do and planned out their life, and they kept up with stuff on paper, like they balanced their checkbooks on paper. That, you know, like everything was wrote down in some kind of format. And it's more real than the digital. And from what I can tell, of what I see, technology has done nothing but throw a lot of confusion on people and slowed us down for the most part. I believe that most people was much more productive before all this digital stuff came out. But either way, digital things are good, and I like technology. I like progress. If it wasn't for technology, there'd be no way I could be making these videos and talking to y'all right now. So I'm not against technology at all. I just think there's some things in life that you need to make real. When you punch a button on a phone and you put something in a Google Calendar or some calendar on your phone, it's not as real to you as when you write it down and you're actually taking an action, and you can feel your calendar, you can feel the pen, and you put it on the calendar, and you're working that calendar each and every day. It's very more rewarding. It's more real in your head. So creating systems, I got off track there. Excuse me about that, but what I mean by creating systems and systems that will create flow in your life is, like every payday, you know when your check goes in the bank. You know what day that is. So creating a system or a routine that the day the check goes in, you go in there and you allocate the money where it needs to go. You pay the bills you need to pay. You whatever your savings plan is, you put the money in the savings. You allocate the money right then where it needs to go. And most people never do that. Most people wait until they absolutely have to pay the bill to pay the bill. And they don't really keep up. They don't get in front of their money. They try to catch up later on their money. And so their money goes in, they might go a week and spend most of the money. And at the end of the week, they gotta see what they got left. What bill can they pay? How much money can they save? Pay the bill, save the money, and then live with what you got left. Don't live and buy the stuff that you absolutely don't need, and then at the end of the week you can't pay the bill or save the money that you promised yourself you was going to do. That's a system. And building systems in your life, workout routines, and like certain times that you do things, and talking, if you're married, talking with your wife on this is very important. Like, you need to know what is in her mind and what her plans are for the next week or two. And she needs to know what's on your plan, because if y'all just get up every day and y'all have different plans and they don't align with each other, she assumes you don't have nothing to do today, or you assume that she doesn't have nothing to do today. So y'all didn't really talk about plans, and just all of a sudden there's something to do because she had it in her mind that today was going to be this, and you had it in your mind today was going to be like this. Well, then you got an issue, you got a problem. So creating systems that will create more flow in your life is very beneficial. And it's really simple. I can go deep into a lot of the systems that I've created and implemented in my life. Not that I created, I mean, it's nothing that like I invented. It's just systems that I implement on a weekly basis that helps me create flow, and it creates less resistance on forward progress. So guys, if you just think about that stuff, and if you have a system or a plan that you have found very beneficial in your life, please put it in the comments. That way I can see it, that way other people can see it, and we all help each other out with that. And if you know somebody that needs to hear this, if they're just living on day by day through randomness and chaos and reacting to, they live their whole life in just in a reactive mode, send this to them, let them hear it, and share it, or hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, get in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Appreciate y'all listening.